Hey everyone, this is Kendall from the Recording Lounge podcast. Once again, I am doing a Tom mic comparison. Today we're putting two of my favorite Tom mics head to head to really see what the strengths and weaknesses are. This is the Shure Beta 181 small diaphragm condenser and the Sennheiser MD421, a large diaphragm dynamic. These mics actually have a lot in common. They're quite durable, they can take a ton of level, both are made by reputable companies, and I'd say they're within the same price bracket. The 421's around $400 and the Beta 181 is around $500. Not to mention, they both sound great on toms. So let's hear how they compare. This next clip is alternating back and forth between each mic. I'll play this segment twice, so watch the bottom of the screen to see which mic is playing. So this next test, we're going to compare how these mics respond to cymbal bleed. So I've set up a crash cymbal, and this is a really important part when it comes to miking toms. It can kind of be a make or break when it comes to picking a tom mic. So how do these mics compare? Truth be told, I like them both a lot, and they both have their strengths and weaknesses. If you look at a frequency analyzer that shows us the peak response of each of these mics, you can see that the MD421 is indeed a little bit snappier in the high mids, but the Beta has a deeper low end, and I would say a smoother mid-range, high-frequency response overall. That's not to say one is better than the other. Those are both great qualities. When it comes to bleed, I think the MD421 actually wins this one. Now, technically speaking, the bleed on the 181 is about 1.5 dB quieter than the bleed on the 421. However, since it doesn't have as much of that high-mid bump, if I were to EQ that in, or say use a transient designer to get more of the snap of the MD421, I think the cymbal bleed would surpass that of the 421. So if we were like comparing apples to apples, I really do think it would be just a little bit louder than the 421. So let's talk highlights. MD421, it's got nice bright attack. It's got, you could say, tighter, more focused lows and low mids, minimal bleed. One bad thing about it is that it can be hard to place. And, of course, we can't forget about the terrible MD421 mic clip. Oh, my God. How long before they revised that clip? It is, however, insanely durable. So even when it falls out of the mic clip, it's not going to break. The 421 may need less EQ up top, but it could benefit from a bottom mic on the tom or maybe some nice EQ down low. So the Beta 181. I would say in general it has flatter mids and high mids, a little bit more of a natural frequency response in general, but it's got fat, deep lows. Now, the MD421 actually starts rolling off around 80 or 90 hertz, but the Beta 181 is actually almost flat down to 50 hertz. So musically speaking, that's about an octave lower extension. So that's pretty impressive. It has minimal bleed, especially for a condenser, but you still got to be careful with the placement to make sure you keep that under control. One big benefit of the 181 is that it's really easy to place and you can fit in tight spots and stay out of the drummer's way. I also never worry about it falling out of the clip. I would also argue that the 181 is probably a more versatile mic in general. I'd feel comfortable using that mic on almost anything. Being a condenser and being able to take that much level, you could put it on a bass amp, a guitar amp, an acoustic guitar, even a vocal. Whereas the 421, being a dynamic, it doesn't quite have as much sensitivity for something like acoustic guitar or piano. It does sound pretty good on guitar amps and bass amps, but I might not want to use it on something a little bit more acoustic. Well, I hope all of you enjoyed this test. For more cool videos like this, go check out my channel, go subscribe, and check out recordingloungepodcast.com and keep recording.